Welcome back to another episode of the I'm Not a Hater podcast featuring your favorite not hater, Mr. Brown. Coming to you once again live. There's a lot going on in the world. We just gonna jump right in. First, we're gonna start with the passing, untimely, I assume, untimely passing of Charlie Kirk. Um, there's been a lot of back and forth about Mr. Kirk and his place in where you should place condolences, or if you should even place condolences, or rest in peace or whatever, because of the type of speech that he was famous for, which at this point would be called hate speech. Um, in my opinion, of course, it's an unfortunate situation for his wife and kids. But again, just like I stated when Hulk Hogan passed, that the stuff that you do on the internet or that you say, it doesn't go away. It's always there. People can search you up and find out what you're about. And then most people found out that he was an advocate for gun violence. He was, you know, all the negativity things that you could think of. He was a part of it. He was down for it. He, stood up for it. He agreed. Felt like LGBTQ should be abolished. All those things that you know don't really align with what is happening in the world today. The progression of the world. He was kind of the old feeling of the world, right? Everything should just stay black, white, and all that type of stuff, right? So the hate speech, basically. So not really saying it, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Unfortunately, for Mr. Kirk, you know, if he had more positive things to say, I'm sure people would feel differently about his passing. But to me, it seems that people are, just kind of like, well, it's another day. They're kind of taking the stance that he would have taken. Hey, another person died by a gun, but I still get to keep mine, and do things like that. But unfortunate for his family, of course. But at the same time, like I said before, the things that you say and do, you will ultimately live and die by, in the court of public opinion. And in this case, people have found him guilty of being, a gun advocate, and it just sucks that you were taken down by a gun, unfortunately. But moving on, I'm gonna get into something that might be, probably more controversial. Tabitha Brown recently made some statements and told people to, hey, if you're struggling as an entrepreneur, get a job. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what she said. If you feel like she was wrong, get out of your feelings, okay? It is not easy being an entrepreneur. You're going to come up with thousands of ideas. Some going to work, some not. In between that time, you're still going to need money to live. How are you making money if your product isn't selling? You're going to have to get a job. She did not say anything wrong. And for people that are outraged, you're just way too sensitive. Like, think about it. It's common sense. If your ideas, you got 1,000 of them, and the 1,000 didn't work, doesn't mean that you're gonna stop being an entrepreneur or a dreamer. You just got to think smarter and go get a job. It's really that simple. Like, I really don't understand the outrage. I watched the clip. She did not say anything terrible. There was absolutely no need for anybody to be sensitive about what she said. She was basically stating facts. Like, in that space of being an entrepreneur, you still have to have funds coming in to fund your projects, to put your ideas out. So you might need to grab a job. That's not really difficult to understand. So lay off of Tabitha Brown. She was just trying to make a honest point. I stand in agreement with her. Go out there and get a job. Now use that money to do what you need to do for your businesses. But sometimes you have to get a job before one of those ideas pop off. It's just that simple. September 11th it's been 24 years since the towers fell and the other um, plane crashes and incidents happened that fateful day. Um, I always remember where I was at that point in time. I was a junior in high school. Um, I was sitting in a history class when the first tower got hit. Um, and the teacher was about to show us a video on something unrelated. Um, I was in history class, so it probably was the beginning of the year, so it probably was like George Washington or something, if I remember correctly. But we went straight to watching the news, and we watched um the first plane hit the tower, and then we saw the second one hit, and it was like, whoa, what happened? Like, what did that really mean? And I remember like trying to the like even though all that was happening, like the teachers tried to make us go through the day as though it was regular, but nobody was focused on work because we didn't know, especially being in Connecticut at the time, we didn't know if we were going to be next. Like New York and Connecticut aren't that far apart, so we didn't know if something was going to happen here. And I just remember being like nervous a little bit, um, and like then I ended up. I think I want to say I ended up getting picked up early from school, but that was all that was on the TV screen was just like 9/11, towers fell. Then there was another situation that happened. Oh, the crash at the Pentagon. Then it was like the other one, flight. I think it was like 77 that crashed. It was just like a bunch of stuff happening, and I just remember being like, "Wow, what is the world coming to?" Because on top of that, right, like a couple weeks before that, had just lost Aaliyah in the tragic plane crash. So it was like just another thing that added on to something, a crazy start to, the latter half of 2001. But I do remember that what came out of it was that it brought Americans closer together for a time. Everybody was, flags on their cars. God Bless America was playing out of every store you went in. People were just overall, if you were American, obviously, people were just overall nicer to you. It was just a different time and place after the tragedy, but that was a scary time, man, because you didn't know what those people were capable at that time. But you just never. That's one of those events that I say all the time that you'll never forget where you were during that time period. It's just something that you just won't ever forget, man, in life. Where you were on the day of 9/11, 2001. Man, another topic I want to jump right into. Why do people, or why do certain people, I won't say all, but why do certain people hate Jay-Z so much? I mean, I know you got, Dame Dash and a few other hip hop people who can't really stand him. But why does the general public hate Jay-Z so much or want him to get caught up so bad? I brought this up like maybe a couple months ago, but I really didn't get a response. But I just want to know, like, is it because he hasn't been? Y'all wanted him to be like Diddy so bad and get caught up and end up in prison? And he has fought everything that's been thrown at him, and hasn't taken it lying down. But why did he's successful? Like, we should be applauding the fact that he's a billionaire. I'm not saying that you got to be on his jock, because that you don't have to be. But why do people hate him so much? He's living his life, his best life. He got his family with him. He got his wife. She's famous, Beyonce, whatever, what have you. Um, he's living life, man. Let that man be. If you spend less time hating on him and focused on your own self, I'm pretty sure you could have a great life too. Like, y'all gotta really stop going this hard trying to, tear this man down and defame him. I don't understand and don't see the reason why you doing it. Maybe it's part of some bigger conspiracy that I don't see or I'm not privy to, but I just don't see the point. Like, y'all gotta let it go. Okay? It's unnecessary at this point. Why are we going so hard? And that's just how I feel about that. I am a fan of his music, So I do feel like it's kind of overdone. It's cooked. This man has given you everything through his music, through his labels, his fashion brand, Rockaware, all the stuff that he's done, helping other rappers, remain successful, paying bills for them, doing all this great stuff in the community, and y'all still find time to hate on him. It's just unnecessary. I thought I was a hater, but y'all really showing me that y'all are some haters when it comes to the guy known as Jay-Z. It's wild to me. Listen, Kelly Price had it. She hit the nail on the head too. Y'all are some mean and disrespectful people on this internet and in this world. And she was mainly talking about black people, but I'm gonna throw everybody in the pot. Y'all are some mean people. I read some of these comments that y'all post under these people's pictures, and y'all just mean and nasty. Just feeling entitled to say whatever you want to say. Like these people don't have feelings, and then when they respond, y'all get in y'all feelings. Like how y'all gonna do that? And y'all just was talking crazy. I again stand with Kelly Price, just like I stood with Tabitha Brown earlier. Stop being nasty and mean to people, and go get a job. If you had a job, you wouldn't have so much time to be mean and nasty to people, because you'd have to focus while you're at work. And that's just an honest take. That's just being real. If you are working and you working hard, you don't got time to be mean and nasty. I guess you could be mean and nasty, but then you ain't gonna have nobody at work that want to deal with you either. So you just a mean and nasty person. And some of y'all get on this internet and either try to be funny or call yourself being woke or being serious, and it's just nasty comments. So I agree with Kelly Price. Some of y'all and black people who are probably at the top of the list are some of the nastiest, meanest people alive, and y'all gotta cut that out. Let it go. Whatever crawled up your butt, get rid of it, because it's unnecessary. Y'all don't have to be that mean and nasty. Y'all could cheer for people, clap for people. You don't got to be that much of a hater. Like, I know I'm a hater, but I own it. Y'all just out here faking the funk. Stop it on this internet, on Al Gore's internet. Cut it out. Now listen, again, I get on here and I talk about my team, Dallas Cowboys. I probably now for the third week in a row. They playing the Giants on Sunday. It is a must-win game in my opinion. We did not win our first game against the Eagles. The Eagles won. The Commanders won. This game against the Giants, in my opinion, is a must-win, because if we start 0-2 in the Giants, we want to at least be in third place to start. And then we can, hopefully keep winning and getting some more wins and keep going. That's just my thoughts and opinions on that. I feel like, we played hard that first game. I do agree. I see that we were meeting with Jadeveon Clowney. Hopefully we could bring him in. He can help shore up our defense a little bit more since we lost Micah Parsons. I'm going to forever talk about that because I feel like it just was unnecessary. We did not have to lose him, but that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but that's just how I feel. But listen, I always stand with my squad. I ride with them until, the wheels fall off. I don't agree with some of the stuff Jerry Jones is doing, but hey, that's, none of my business at this point. I don't, they don't pay me to make those decisions. He pay himself. So, but again, it's a must-win game. I hope that, we could pull it out. I do believe that we'll beat them because the Giants don't look that good. Russell Wilson didn't look that good on Sunday against the Commanders. And, maybe they'll put the rookie in and we can batter him and, bruise him up a little bit. But I do think we're going to pull it out. It'll probably be a, close game a little bit. Hopefully, offense is clicking. CD won't be dropping no passes. Maybe George Pickens will get in the end zone. Hopefully Dak will show out. They do pretty well against the Giants over the past couple years. So hopefully that'll continue. Like I said, man, it's a lot going on in the world. Don't say nothing you don't want nobody to pull up on the internet years later. Okay? Just be aware of what you're doing when you're doing it, because it'll come back to bite you if you ain't careful. All right? Listen, I won't keep you long. I'm not a hater. I just wanted to, come and address some things that I've been seeing in the world that's been going on over the past couple days and past couple weeks. I hope y'all enjoy this episode. I hope y'all enjoy it. Tell your friends to like, subscribe, comment, If it's your first time watching, I definitely appreciate it, and I will be back with more episodes soon. Peace and love.